She used cleaning as kind of a punishment and as kind of a like, well, my favorite kid won't have to do the dishes today, but like the kid who makes me a little angry will. So I have a weird relationship with chores because to me, the sound of dishes being done while I am resting is an indication of anger. That came from somewhere, and that place is my mother. Hello, friends. Welcome back. I'm sick today, but I really wanted to record this podcast so that it would go out in time for Mother's Day because I'm talking about Mother's Day. Specifically, navigating Mother's Day when you maybe are estranged or have a tenuous relationship with your mother. So, the Cliff Notes of Caitlin's experience with mom. My mother was very on point when it came to meeting our physical needs. We had clothing, we had food, we took baths, we had our hair combed, and all the physical needs were met. The emotional needs were a cherry on top sometimes if she felt like it. We didn't have the best childhood there. There was a lot of emotional neglect, emotional abuse, and it was weird because it was sort of like, well, like she's not hitting us, like she's not hurting us, but this still feels bad. Like I distinctly remember in like my middle school era, so like, how old are you in middle school? I'm like 13, 14, 15. Like I just got my period for the first time. And she was just sort of like, here's pads and tampons. Here's how they work. I don't really remember a conversation about like, are you worried about anything? Are you scared? It can be kind of scary to have blood in your pants all of a sudden. She was very sort of like factual and like, again, just handled the physical components of it, which is fine. Like, that's fine, I guess. Maybe it's not fine. I feel like there's a little bit more like care and concern that could go into that. I did once have her come into the bathroom with me and like I had her face the corner. I was like, don't look at me, but I need you to explain how to insert a tampon while I do it. And then like if I mess up, like I wanted her to be there. Her biggest issues were like my weight. She was very upset that I was a fat kid and continued to be a fat adult. She is sort of I consider her like the installer of my eating disorder, which turns out is made worse by my OCD. So those mental issues were playing with each other. She was very much a like, you should be seen and not heard type of mom. Like we were not to be loud, disturbing at all. We should be quiet. We should do our homework. We should do a quiet activity. But also, like, there were chores to be done. So, like, we didn't get to do a quiet, fun activity until chores were done, which, again, like, is fine. You can balance responsibility and, like, fun and teach your kids how to, like, balance that and be like, look, like, we all live in a household and we're all making dirty dishes, so we all need to pitch in. She used cleaning as kind of a punishment and as kind of a like, well, my favorite kid won't have to do the dishes today, but like the kid who makes me a little angry will. So I have a weird relationship with chores. And just this morning, my partner was doing the dishes while I was sleeping in a little bit because I'm sick. And he came in and he brought me a mug of tea and he's like, I made you this. How are you feeling? He's checking in with me. And I'm like, are you mad at me? And he goes, no. Because to me, the sound of dishes being done while I am resting is an indication of anger. That came from somewhere, and that place is my mother. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into navigating Mother's Day when you don't really want to celebrate it because you don't have a good relationship with your mom. Now, maybe your mom was abusive like mine and you don't talk to her anymore. Maybe you just have sort of like a contentious, this fucking sucks, but I can't really put my finger on why about it. There's lots of reasons why you might have an iffy relationship with your mom. And also, I love coaching people on like navigating their boundaries and what is like reasonable for them to expect and ask for and be like, this is my boundary, and what is tipping over into like the people pleasing and doing stuff because mom would like you to do it. So if that's you, you should book a consult with me. And even if like we just ever do the consult, I think you'll come away with something amazing. So there's that. Book a session. Let's talk about your mom issues. I'm not Sigmund Freud. I feel like I'm much better at the mommy issues thing, but let's talk about it. So I spent a while post mom estrangement. I stopped talking to my mom in like January 2017, I think. And I had been no contact with her for a little over a year when I had to see her twice because my stepdad was dying. So I saw her once in the hospital, and she was totally reasonable, and like she got up and she was like, do you want to hold his hand? And like, she gave me the chair by his bed, and like, I was able to hold his hand and talk to him. And I was like, this is pretty extreme to get me and my mom in a room together again, huh, buddy? Because that's how I cope, is with humor. And then he passed that night. So I was able to see him in the hospital once by myself. I went in, and then he went home. Like, they thought he was getting better. And then he came back into the hospital. And it was sort of like the entire family kind of a deal thing, because we knew it wasn't going to be long. So I saw him that last night in the hospital. I saw my mom there. And then after he passed, my mom had like a celebration, a memorial type, like not quite party, but like a gathering at her house. And she had all these pictures printed of him from like their vacations over the years. And she like asked everybody to like, please take any photos that you want to take. So I actually, in my room, I have like it's like one of those like magnetic little chains, and you can just put pictures up to it with little magnets. And so I have alternating pictures of my stepdad and like childhood pictures of me and my sister. And I like having it where I can see it. It's comforting to me. He was a really good guy. And the way that she handled his death and his illness was like the unforgivable thing that made me like, this is not ever going to be a door that I reopen, because she purposely did not reach out to let me know that he was ill, that he had cancer. And everybody else, like all the kids in this situation are adults, but I'm going to call us like the kids because we are the children of these two people. So he had two kids, and they obviously knew that he was sick. And then mom has 4 kids, and my brothers knew that he was sick, and she deliberately put everyone on orders to not tell me or my sister, to punish me for not speaking to her for a year. And I personally think that that's fucked up. I think maybe get over it for a minute and, let me know that somebody's dying. So there's a lot of drama there, but I want to keep this on topic for Mother's Day. So in these 8 years of estrangement, minus that little blip where I saw her twice, for a while, I was still working like full-time in marketing. So like in 2017, I worked at a company that made crib mattresses. And then in 2018 through 2020, I was working at a greenhouse. And let me tell you, as a marketing copywriter, the Mother's Days were rough. Because we were doing so much Mother's Day content. Oh, this Mother's Day, your baby needs a better crib mattress. Spoil mom with an orchid for Mother's Day. Blah, 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 blah. Also, Mother's Day at the greenhouse, like it was all hands on deck out in like the warehouse, like greenhouse portion. So like the entire marketing team and like some of the, not even some of the sales team, but the whole marketing team, we would go out and we would help package orchids, and other plants for like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, because we had such like a huge surge in the e-commerce. And so like the first day I had to go out in the warehouse and do Mother's Day shipments, I'm physically exhausted, didn't quite know that I had fibromyalgia yet. So I'm chronically ill, but I don't know it. I'm autistic and I don't know it. This is like pre-Caitlin's self-actualization. And I came home that day and just started crying. It was a Wednesday. I spent Wednesday nights at my girlfriend's apartment in Lakewood, and I got to her place and I just started wailing as soon as I was in the door. And she just laid with me and like held me, and it was wonderful. And like, I didn't know why I was freaking out, and she didn't know why I was freaking out, but I just needed some time to freak out. And then I processed it, and I was like, I just think maybe Mother's Day is like really emotional for me. because I don't talk to my mom. And I had to like read all these notes and put them in the packages of people sending beautiful notes of love to their mothers. And I was like, oh, that must be fucking nice to have a mom that you care about. But also, I don't know, some of those were probably people who had really contentious relationships with their mother, but were doing their due diligence, because if they didn't, you know, she'd get pissy. I've been there too. One year, I just sent my mom a text on Mother's Day. I said, Happy Mother's Day. And I had like a wine glass or like a martini or something emoji. She was very offended by this and did not tell me so. And my stepdad had to talk her out of like ghosting our wedding, because she was going to not attend my wedding to my second husband, who, you know, was a giant asshole. So I wouldn't blame her, but she was just going to not show up and send me a text that said happy wedding. And Joe was like, that's petty and stupid, and you're not doing it. So like, bless this man, because he really tempered my mom's bullshit. He really made her an easier person to be around. And now he's gone, and I have no hope that she and I could ever repair anything at all, ever. Cool story, bro. Okay. All of this to say that if you have a hard time with Mother's Day because of any of this nonsense, there's also plenty of other reasons. Maybe your mom has passed away. Maybe you have had a miscarriage and Mother's Day is really hard on you because you are a mother, but you don't have your child with you. Like, there's a lot of very real reasons beyond estrangement that Mother's Day is super hard. I am focusing on estrangement because that's my wheelhouse and that's the one that I am living. But like, I'm here for you and I love you and I'm sending all of the support and sympathy to you. I just don't have personal experience with those things. So I'm going to stick to estrangement. And I've come up with some ideas of ways to make this better. So first of all, reclaim Mother's Day. Make it not about your mom. If you have friends who are moms, text them a happy Mother's Day. Send them a happy Mother's Day card. Bring them a gift. Show up on their doorstep with muffins. Whatever it is, if you have local mom friends or internet mom friends, celebrate them on Mother's Day. You can celebrate the day without celebrating your own mom. And also, like, save space for yourself to deal with the weird feelings that come up. Because there's going to be weird feelings. It's a day, the ads are advertising. I keep getting these K jeweler ads that say, give mom a gift that actually slays. I don't think you're doing that right. But then, like, I don't know, I keep swiping through the jewelry and looking at it. So that's why they keep serving me the ads. I am Sisyphus in this. Maybe not Sisyphus. It's not that hard to look at those rings. But maybe I'm Prometheus, where the rings eat my liver and then the next day they're back and I just keep looking and letting those rings eat my liver again. Sick Greek mythology reference, bruh. I don't know why I'm doing the bruh thing today. I told you I'm sick. Maybe this is the real me. Maybe I'm like this. So we're celebrating our mom friends. Celebrate, if you are a mom, celebrate with your kids. Just focus on you for the day. Oh my God, so rare and beautiful, right? Celebrate an honorary mom. So like, I have an internet mom friend. Her name is Shannon. She lives in Arizona, and she feels like a mom to me. Like, she fills the space in my heart that a mom would fill. She's a very good internet mom. And so maybe I will reach out to Shannon and say, hey, happy Mother's Day, internet mom. I love you. Or, you know, maybe like an aunt or a grandma or a teacher that you had who like was just like a really nice maternal mentor for you. Any type of like mentor or boss. You know, it's only weird if you make it weird. So I think it could be very nice to just send someone a note, a DM, a text. Like, it doesn't have to be flowers and a card, but just say like, hey, Mother's Day is all about appreciating the women who helped raise you and you helped raise me. That's perfectly acceptable. Do that. Amazing, right? My sister used to send me Mother's Day cards for a while because I was their mother figure. So we lived with our dad for like half a year, like a 6 month. It didn't go great because he's sort of like the opposite of mom, is that he was like, okay, are my kids having fun? Are my kids happy? Are my kids shrieking with joy? And less attention to the physical needs, less attention to, is there access to nutritious food in the home? Am I like cooking meals? I was cooking a lot of dinners. I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. I'm like 11 or 12 at this time. And I was getting my sister on the bus in the morning, and I was making sure the homework was done, and I was taking care of a lot of parental things. And that's hard to explain to my dad because, like, I don't know, I don't want to make him feel bad, but I feel like as we reconnect, I'm going to have to broach that topic and be like, so, I had to go no contact with you to deal with some of this stuff. So that's going to be unpleasant. Wish me luck. Maybe that'll come up next month in a special Father's Day after school special episode of the Neurodivergent Creative Podcast. If you don't want to celebrate a mother or a mother figure, because I don't know, maybe that's not your jam, nurture something. Get a house plant. Be motherly to a house plant, right? Mother's Day is about nurturing and care. So I don't know, take your dog to the doggy spa and get their nails trimmed. And if all you have is fur babies, have Mother's Day as a fur mom. That's weird because I spend a lot of time with furries. And so I'm like, fur mom sounds like it could be a different thing. I say I spend a lot of time. Like I volunteer at a furry convention once a year. So for one weekend out of 52, I am around a lot of furries. And I have a government assigned persona because my friend, he asked me to like help volunteer. And I was like, sure, whatever. Like I'm always down. And then I was like, well, I don't feel like a furry. I'm really going on like little tangents today. And he's like, I mean, doesn't have to be like your whole identity. And he was like, you seem like a capybara. That's the mom friend of the animal kingdom. So I immediately accepted it. And so capybaras are my jam now. Because yeah, if you don't have a mom, you can come hang out with me and we'll sit around the watering hole and we'll put oranges on our head and whatever else capybaras do. We'll just sit there and it'll be fine. Capybara. That's me. A little bit harder would be like do some mom wound work for Mother's Day. This is a great time to bring like some ritual into it. There's a lot of great books about mother wounds and estrangement and navigating these things. I'm reading one right now called The Good Daughter Syndrome. It's a banger. I have to read it like a chapter at a time and then take a break and then read another chapter because, you know, I've been doing this sort of emotional work for 8.5 years now, longer, because I was doing the work before I cut her off. So woof, that's rough. 10 years? At least 10 years that I have been working on accepting and dealing with the fact that my mother was abusive and neglectful. And it's hard work to do. And you don't necessarily want to do it all at once. Like you don't want to rip off the whole Band-Aid and just bleed everywhere. It is a slow process. But I recommend that book. I think I have a blog post from the past with a lot of like book recommendations. So I'll dig that up and I will put that in the show notes for you as well. But you know, maybe every year for Mother's Day, you do a little bit of journaling or processing or make an appointment with a therapist to deal with something. It can be the fact that it sucks can be like something on which you can stack something that's good for you. So if May, like the first half of May just sucks because you're like, it's mom ads all over the place. Okay, great. Great time to go work with your therapist on mom stuff. And that way, every time you see a Kay Jewelers ad that says, give mom a gift that slays, you will be reminded that you're doing mom work right now. And you're doing mother wound work, and you can do some of the exercises or journal prompts or whatever that you're going through. May as well use this frustrating moment in time for good, you know? And then my last suggestion, which is really fun, is do something that your mom would hate. Wear an outfit that she would say washes you out. Get rid of some things in your closet that she gave you that you hold on to out of obligation. Go out to dinner and eat something that she does not love. I love going out for sushi because I know I'm never going to run into my mom at a sushi restaurant. So sushi's always a safe bet for me. I've actually never run into my mom in public, and we don't live that far apart, which is pretty crazy. I've had a lot of dreams where I run into her in public, but it's never actually happened. Mostly because I frequent sushi restaurants and she does not. #strategy. If you want to go to the zoo and pay $2 to go to the butterfly house and she never let you go to the butterfly house because she didn't want to spend $2 more, you go to that butterfly house, you know, like go out for ice cream, do something outlandish. And outlandish is probably not that outlandish. When I ran this program called Eldest Daughter Rehab, we did an activity where I was like, who would you be if you were allowed to be wild as a child? Like, if your mom didn't like temper down your passions. And the responses that people gave were not like, I would be skydiving or rock climbing, or well, one of them is a rock climber. So that's a poor choice of words on my part. But they were like, I would be a journalist for National Geographic. I would have lived single and like lived in an apartment by myself before I got married. I would like, they were really very simple things about following your passion, about being independent, and about like trusting your own gut to guide you to whatever next step is in your life. Because when you have like a controlling mom, she doesn't want you to do those things. She doesn't want you to be wild. She wants you, under the guise of playing it safe and, you know, not risking things, she wants you to stay on a certain path. But that path comes with a lot of like emotional limitations and a lot of giving away your agency to your mom because you think she knows better. That's not necessarily true. The phrase mother knows best, applicable sometimes, maybe. You don't get to win every argument just because you've had a kid, you know? Like mother knows best doesn't really do it for me. Mother knows stuff that I don't know sometimes, but that doesn't mean that it's best. Another idea that I just had is if you have like stuff around your house, like kitschy little items, like, I realized my mother was right about everything. Take those out back, put them in a paper bag and smash them with a hammer. I did that once. It was amazing. That's actually still the cover photo for a Facebook group that I run called STAR, Surviving Trauma from Abusive Relatives. It used to be a Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers group, but I wanted it to be gender inclusive. So it is not strictly for women. It is for anybody who has had like abusive relationships. I don't really post much in there anymore. Because, you know, like my life has taken some turns, but it's occasionally somebody will post in there and be like, hey, like I'm going through this issue with my mom. What do we think? And it's a nice little place. But the cover photo in there is a paper bag with like shards of 2 mugs that my mom got me that like from anybody else could have been funny, but from her, they were mean. And I know that they were mean. And so I broke them and threw them away. I was like, you don't get to be mean to me in my morning coffee routine anymore. So yeah, anything that reminds you of your mother or anything that is like a subtle dig from your mother. I knew somebody whose mom always bought her like a ceramic pig or like something with a pig on it, like for Christmas and birthdays and stuff. And finally, this person asked and was like, what's with all the pigs? Because like, you know, sometimes if you have like a niche interest, like my roommate, she loves anything like a goose with a knife, you know, like Untitled Goose Game vibes. So if I see anything that's got like a goose being a menace, I will buy that for her because I know that she will love it. So some people, and you know, capybaras are like my thing. So I guess kind of anything whimsical. Like my partner got me this, I can't point to it, this stuffed iguana for Valentine's Day because he saw it and he was just like, Caitlin will like that. Luckily, he has not covered me in other iguana things. I'm open to it. Iguanas are pretty cute. But anyway, she asked about the pig thing and her mom was like, oh, you don't remember? And she goes, no, what? Well, one time you called me a pig. And so her mom was giving her like spite gifts that she wasn't even aware of. Like this person was not getting the dig every time. She was just like, oh, another pig, ceramic pig plate, candle with a pig on it, piggy bank, pig earrings. She wasn't getting the digs that her mom thought she was delivering. And also, please just fucking talk about your feelings. You don't have to do weird, subtle subterfuge. Anyway, if you have a bunch of stuff like that, feel free to throw it out, give it to Goodwill, let it find a good home with somebody who really does love pigs that much. Set it free. It doesn't have to haunt you anymore. Whether you talk to your mom, whether you don't talk to your mom, you can get rid of things that remind you of her if they feel mean in your heart. Hey friend, it is time for another round of novel parkour. This time it's going to be a free 3-day workshop. In just 3 days, you're going to be able to take your epiphany, the thought that you had in the shower, and you will have it turned into
a pretty robust outline that has enough structure to keep you moving forward on your first draft, but also enough room that you can be flexible when it comes to figuring out how to move from scene to scene, or if you have a plot hole, you're going to learn how to not get stuck in that plot hole. So this is specifically designed, because I have ADHD, for ADHD writers. So the autism wants a plan, the ADHD wants to frolic, and novel parkour is like my secret ingredient. Somewhere between plotting and pantsing is novel parkour. This is an approach that helps you put flexible boundaries around your writing process to complete your first draft without getting bogged down in super niche details and having to know exactly what genre you're writing in. And through this process, you're not only going to come away with resources to actually write your outline and get to know the details of your book and have sort of a framework for how to build those details, but you're also going to come away with the knowledge that your first draft will be messy, and that's actually perfectly according to plan. So please come join me. We are going to be spending 3 days together in May 2025. It's the 16th through the 18th. You can go ahead and grab your spot on my website, and then I'll see you in May. Novel parkour. It's going to be awesome.
So this has been a lovely Mother's Day episode about mom trauma. Enjoy. Good luck. And I will be back with more neurodivergent topics next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right. I love you, friends. Stay healthy. Wear a mask when you go outside. This isn't COVID, but wear a mask anyway. It's like a sinus infection. And also like the whole right side of my brain feels like there's an ice pick in it. So it's got a side of migraine. Anyway, I love you. I hope I feel better soon. And I hope we get through Mother's Day with minimal angst. Tom.
Creative with Caitlin Fisher as your host and creative coach. They'll change your approach and tell you a joke to lighten your load and help you along or sing you a song. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.